it up off the stove a little bit more. But Seppi's stove is nice. It's like a little bit higher off the eye. So I'm going to be careful, and I like the way that this thing has a little lip there. I'm just going to pour some of this extract in here. I'm going to pour all of it in here. So I'm going to go ahead and start the flame. And like I said, you don't want to use electric eyes when you're doing spagyric extracts, because the electromagnetic energy that's emitted by the electric eyes will disturb the spiritual process. There you go. So I'm going to put this on low. Alcohol has a boiling point of about 50 degrees. I think 50 degrees Celsius, or no, 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, so very low, very low boiling temperature. So we're just going to put it on low. Just make sure that the flame stays on. We have somebody that's going to maintain keeping an eye on this. It's going to start boiling and steaming off, and I just want to reduce this about let's say about 10%. If I'm not mistaken. If you have 1,000 milliliters, you want to take it down to like 100 milliliters. But I didn't measure this before. We're just going to do a small reduction. And we're just going to let this go.
So are you reducing that to only the essential oils?
See, some people would do that, and I like to do this just to have a little bit more of the material to work with whenever I distribute it out. But ideally, for your own personal use, you can distill that all the way down to the essence and remove away the spirit. But we're combining the spirit back into it with the spagyric. So I mean, I've done the concentrates.
Right, so you would distill it off, so the oils are left in one flask, and distill the spirit into another flask, and then recombine.
Yeah, and yeah, to be a spagyric, it would have to be recombined, or you can leave it in there. See, we don't have the soxhlet apparatus, which eventually you could distill off the alcohol and be left with the essence. But we're just going to distill this down instead of, because it's all going to evaporate into the air. We won't have any more spirit to. So you can put it in apparatuses where it will condense the alcohol, and you could collect the alcohol again to recombine it. But because we don't have the apparatus, the alcohol is being evaporated into the air. It's good that people ask these kind of questions. So the alcohol is being evaporated into the air, and the only way that we'd be able to make this a spagyric and recombine the spirit into the trinity of the spagyric is to leave some of the alcohol in this evaporation process. So I'm going to grab the chaga. We're going to do the tea, so we can give an example of the dual extraction. So I'm going to get this here. If anybody wants to fill that up with water for me, please. Injecting the spring water. Just make it as earthly as you can. Make it as metaphysical as you can. And when I say metaphysical, I mean before physics. I don't want to. A lot of people, when I say these words, they hear so many different things. Everybody has a different understanding of all the words that I'm saying. So I don't want people. My biggest thing is to not get people turned off by this kind of stuff, because I'm talking about a lot of spiritual things, a lot of metaphysical type things, but it all has a very scientific aspect to it. So I don't want people to be afraid of the spiritual things, because a lot of people are stepping away from their religious upbringings and stuff like that to find a more ecumenical teaching.